Do you ever get tired of eating your emotions? I know I have. I'm Kathy Bartoli from theintimacydojo.com.
I'm Rick from thrivingnow.com. And yes, I've eaten my share of cake. And it's almost always when I'm reacting to overwhelm. I'm reacting to too many things going on, too many things, and it's medicine. Mm-hmm. And it feels like my body knows that that kind of dose of sugar will do something for it. Mm-hmm. It'll help dampen it down.
And it actually does. We can regulate our levels of serotonin and our levels of dopamine by how many carbs or not carbs or things we put in our bodies. And as small children, we may have realized there wasn't cocaine laying around, or
Thank goodness.
And maybe not bottles of alcohol, but we did have access to food, most of us. And we learned, there's a biofeedback there. And for people that were overwhelmed and didn't have a better way, it was a brilliant way to cope with what was going on. Yeah. And I really thought that when I cleared out a whole bunch of stuff, I'd start having more control. And I certainly do. I used to binge eat almost every night. Mm-hmm. And it was really, really hard on my body. And when I cleared out a whole bunch of trauma, I was definitely not binge eating all the time, but I still wasn't fully in control. And I found a whole other layer hidden in between of emotions that I was not wanting to look at. And it's kind of that fish and water thing. We're so used to burying those emotions that we don't even know they're there.
And I hope that you can feel that we're accepting that this is a part of being human. We eat, and food makes a big difference to our biochemistry. When we're hangry, that hungry, angry, which you can see kids, they get hangry and they may not realize what's going on. And once they eat, their mood changes. We figure that out. My mom and dad divorced when I was 4. I was going back and forth every other weekend, and I realize now how important those Reese cups were. Mm-hmm. When I was at my dad's. I would use my allowance to buy candy, and I would meter it out over the course of the weekend. And I would also feel that tension that, the weekend's coming up to go someplace new where I didn't feel as safe. I wasn't actually as safe. And so these are things that Kathy and I really want people to feel emotionally free. And emotionally free to me says I've got more choice mm-hmm. than the reaction, the default reaction. Feel overwhelmed, go to cake. Well, there are some things that I've done in my life so that if I'm going to choose to medicate with food, it's more likely to be a conscious choice where I'm aware of it.
And short term.
It's not trying to use that to stuff something down. And that's where, whether I'm very fortunate, I don't gain weight the same way that other people in my family do. And yet I was eating my emotions too. You just didn't see them the same way. And so we're going to get together, and as a community, we're going to explore this. How do we eat our emotions? What emotions cause us to eat in ways that are reactive? Like, I feel this and I do that.
And there's often no space between that impulse. Like, I feel this, and you're already in the refrigerator or you're eating that piece of whatever you swore you were not going to eat today. There's not a gap often. There's not a way we can notice it until we slow it down and do some tapping. And none of this is about blame. It's amazing that you had the capacity to get through what you did. You found mm-hmm. this wonderful mechanism that worked. And I realized I was not being an adult about how I took care of my body. And I needed to step out of that reactive, jump into the whatever would get me through the night, to dealing with it and actually clearing that out so I could be kinder to my body and to myself and have more power over how I was responding. Mm-hmm. So if you'd like more power over your life and would like to have more insights on this, we invite you to join us for this call. We're going to go deep. We're going to do a bunch of tapping. And when you leave, you'll have some insights and some ways to choose to step out of the pattern that you've probably been stuck in for a long time.
Yeah, please join us.